Tonight on Ramblers Unleashed, J-Bone is so old, Methuselah called him Grandpa. J-Bone is so old, he was there when the Mayans published their calendar. J-Bone is so old, he walked into an antique store and they tried to keep him. Our thoughts are with the Baron as he deals with his special assignment. How much does Dizzy have to say about AEW Collision tonight? How many more J-Bone is so old jokes could Max possibly have? Find out all this and more next on Ramblers Unleashed.
The following program contains coarse language, a lot like real life. Viewer discretion is advised.
The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Max, are you just picking your nose?
No, I was about to pick my nose, and my camera popped up on my screen.
Oh, well, that's good timing on my part. Happy Tuesday. It is Ramblers Unleashed. It's time to talk about some wrestling. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Baron is on assignment. It's a personal assignment, so we wish Baron a lot of love and a lot of prayers. Send him a lot of love and prayers at Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's on X. He's going through something right now. So speedy recovery. Come back whenever you can, brother. We miss you. In the meantime, let's go ahead and introduce the other two fellers. And you know what? Let's start off with, of course, my best friend, the neighborhood heel, a man with more wrestling knowledge in his pinky finger than Tony Khan could ever muster up with his toy figures, and the only guy that I know that pops bigger for Joel Gertner than any of us. And damn it, Max, you are our wise man. You, J-Bone, can address him as Mr. Magus, but we, meaning myself and the Baron, we can call him the mighty Maximus Magus. Max, how are you, sir? Golfers clap.
You know what? I was all right. And then I looked over its chat, and I saw Boo the Max Magus. Listen, Punk, don't poke the bear. You don't want me back as the full-on heel. Don't you worry. I'm watching.
You do not want the full-on heel Max. I guarantee you that.
Punk is going to be biased because he may be also a heel, you know, by trait. But you know, he's been a devout follower of mine. Almost you could almost call Punk a disciple of mine.
I knew there wasn't something right with him.
So yeah, he's going to show some people on this panel a little more love than others, and you know what, Max, you're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, well, I got your back, Max. He's my buddy. He's my best friend. And Max, we have your from the desk of Max Magus coming up later on in the program. Get ready for that. That's a hell of a topic we've got for you that's on your desk, man. And finally, the producer of our show, the man, the myth, the absolute legend. Yeah, Punk, you should be afraid of Max. The man, the myth, the absolute legend. For without his tech wizardry and the gizmos that he brings to the show, plus his vast wrestling knowledge, and of course, thanks to his missus who gives us his time to do this show. For without him, we wouldn't be here today. And he is the host of not only Smash This podcast, but Total Nonstop Impact with the latest TNA reviews on YouTube over any other podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a disappointment, but he is the great and infamous J-Bone. Golfers clap. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I just got 1 word, 4 letters. Yeet. I love it when Jay Uso does that shit. It's hilarious.
You know, J-Bone is so old he babysat Jesus.
I did. You know, he was the most wait a minute.
J-Bone is so old that when God said, "Let there be light," J-Bone is the one that flips the switch. J-Bone is so old that he learned how to write on cave walls.
Max, that's kind of fun, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, here. We try one more. See how you feel about this one.
Okay.
So
J-Bone-
it's not calligraphy, it's bonography.
Yeah, we'll go with
Yeah,
that.
sure. Yeah. You made up your own
J-Bone,
language. That's how old you are.
J-Bone is so old that his memory is in black and white.
Max, that sounds like a lot of fun. Can I do a couple?
Oh, come on in and join me.
Yay!
Oh, go ahead.
J-Bone is so old. When he went to school, they didn't have history. J-Bone is so old. His social security number is 1. J-Bone is
Thanks a lot for giving that out. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. No problem. J-Bone is so old, he calls the Old Testament the Testament. J-Bone is so old, he knew the Burger King when he was a prince. How about this one? J-Bone is so old, he remembers when the Mayans published a calendar. And
I came down from the mountain just like Moses with the tablets and said, "Here you go, motherfucker."
and J-Bone, you are so old, the candles cost more than your birthday cake.
J-Bone is so old that his birth certificate says expired. J-Bone is so old that when he was young, the Dead Sea was just sick. J-Bone is so old that he owes Jesus $1.
For what?
I lost a bet to the big guy. What can I say?
J-Bone is so old, he helped run the WWWWF.
It's like my birthday. What the hell?
I know, you're getting roasted, man. One more, Max. You got one?
J-Bone is so old that he was a waiter at the Last Supper.
Oh, let me tell you, that was one tense night, man. That was
waiter. I thought he planned it.
All right. Listen, all jokes aside,
I helped pass out the
bread,
the bread and the wine. And I kept an eye on Judas, but then he ducked out because he's. Anyways,
it's your fault.
All right,
got it.
As much
no,
fun as
that's not no. You are not pinning that on me. I may have lost a dollar bet to the big man, but what happened later, a couple days later, that's not my fault. No.
All right. As much fun as it is to point out how old J-Bone is, I have a couple pieces of business that I got to take care of so we can move on. We have a lot of news to discuss tonight. You guys will not believe what is on our agenda. I'd show you, but that's behind the scenes stuff. You don't need to see that. Just be patient.
Yeah.
First off, ladies and gentlemen, the 5th member of the Ramblers. That's all of you in the audience. We thank you. If you weren't here, we'd just be a bunch of idiots talking to ourselves. So thank you. Round of applause for yourselves. All right.
Oh, no.
This is somebody's favorite part of the show.
Oh, God.
And I'm not talking you, Dizzy. I'm talking about one of those guys right over there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There we go.
Now, I would like to throw this disclaimer out. Before we went live, I was told that I will only be doing this through SummerSlam. After we do the picks for SummerSlam, I'm not allowed to do this anymore. I'm sorry. Boss's orders. I got to listen to the boss. All right. My name is Max Magus, and I am the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed Ramblers Unleashed WrestleMania 41 predictions champion, Mir. Okay.
And you feel better?
You're going to give that guy a big head if you keep talking about him every single show.
Well, I mean, he did say Max was given the week off. Now he had to do it. So
yeah, he let me have last week off, so I had to do it tonight. I had to make up for it.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, a man who needs no introduction, according to him. Yeah. A man that has a golden voice, the man that puts the stories together, without whom we would not be Ramblers. We'd be some guys with no identity being told not to talk so much on another show. Ladies and gentlemen, he is my best friend. He is the Rambler himself. His name is Dizzy. Give it up for him.
Thank you, Max. Every time, every week you do that, it gets better and better and better, buddy.
And the funny thing is, I didn't write it down. I just do it on the fly every week.
That's the best part about it is when it's off the top of the head, it's more sentimental that way. It really is.
It's more sincere.
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Are we ready to talk some wrestling news? Because we have a whole mess of stuff to get through. Not only one, not only two, but we have 3 kind of PLEs coming up if you include Saturday night's main event, which, I mean, I kind of do because it's a huge deal.
They don't just have, regular matches on there. They got titles on the line, and the 2 top titles in the company. That sounds a little chauvinistic. I don't want to say it like that, so my apologies. 2 of the top titles in the company are on the line. There. Is that okay? I don't want to be. He's just a woman hater. No, stop. No. I'm old. Sometimes I just misstep my words.
Even he admits he's old. So we're good with all of our old jokes, Max.
It's a nice little excuse when you're like, oh, well, why the hell did he do? He's old. Oh.
Listen, J-Bone
it gets me out of a lot of shit.
J-Bone is so old, he was saying what before Stone Cold made it popular.
Oh, man.
First, I went to the store. Come on. You guys got to help me here. First, I went to the store.
What?
And then I bought some iced tea.
What?
And then I found a futon.
Yeet.
And then I took a nap. Okay, all right, never mind. That was horrible. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yeah, I believe in Joe Hendry too. I believe we need to get started. And we'll kick it off with Kevin Owens. He gives us an update on his neck surgery plans, and it sounds like it's not the news that we were hoping for. In a video posted on Twitter, May 18th, Owens set the record straight, confirming that he hasn't had surgery yet, despite earlier reports. And I quote, "So first, we don't have a surgery date yet. I have not had surgery yet, despite reports that are contrary." Owens said that while he was sitting in his car. He also went on to say, quote, "We're still going to try to figure out what the best way to go about all of this is and exactly what needs to be done. So we're kind of figuring that out still," end quote. Now, Owens, of course, has not been seen in the WWE since before WrestleMania 41, making it clear there's still a lot of uncertainty surrounding his condition. There's a lot of uncertainty, but hopefully in the next few weeks, they'll get some clarity. They'll do surgery, and then they'll go from there. So speedy recovery to KO as he tries to figure all that out. That's a scary thing to have to deal with, Max.
Well, and listen, there are options. Don't worry, Mir. I plan on doing that this weekend. I don't drink on a work night. There are multiple options for how you fix what Kevin Owens is going through. Some of them are better than others, but take longer, whereas the others take less time. I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of people out there that don't think John Cena actually had the surgery or the rehab or even an injury to begin with because of how quickly he came back with that specialized treatment. Mm-hmm. Now, if that was the real deal and it was legit, I think that Kevin Owens should look into that because, damn, that was fast recovery. But either way, at the end of the day, KO, we miss you. Get well soon, and we look forward to seeing you back when the time is right.
Yes, absolutely. And another person who had a pretty scary injury on Raw is Zoe Stark on the main on last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. The wrestling world has been rallying behind Zoe Stark and her knee injury just moments into the women's Money in the Bank qualifying match against Kairi Sane and Rhea Ripley. Stark collapsed in pain, clutching her knee before being helped to the back during the commercial break. The match continued without her, but the energy instantly shifted from competition to concern. No official update has been released on the extent of the injury, but that didn't stop fellow wrestlers and legends from flooding social media with support rather. Rhea Ripley, who was in the ring when it happened, tweeted, quote, "Professional wrestling can be very real and dangerous. Tonight continued to prove that anything can happen. Wishing Zoe Stark a speedy recovery." Kari Zane also sent out some love and writing with some respect. Quote, "I truly hope we get to face each other again when you're ready. Wishing you a smooth recovery. Respect, Zoe Stark." Also getting love from Natalya, Tommy Dreamer, AEW's Thunder Rosa, Bailey, and more. Her leg, if you didn't see it, and I missed it, I had to watch it on a replay.
It was weird because they came back from, like, they did like a close up on Kari Sane. She went off the ropes and she was running towards Zoe Stark, and Zoe Stark looked like she was trying to do a drop kick into her, but it went wonky, and it was like it happened so fast the camera cut didn't really catch it properly.
And I think her leg went something like this. Like this is her torso, and this is just the leg, or something.
It looked weird. Yeah,
it was turned that no leg should ever be turned, and that was kind of scary, honestly, Max.
Yeah, listen, there is a video of a guy at an indie show who went and jumped off. It was before the match. Match hadn't started. He was posing on the rope. He turned around, went to jump down into the ring, and both of his legs hyperextended the wrong way. And I'm going to be honest with you, I could not stop watching that video. It was on a loop, and I was like horrified. I couldn't look away. As soon as I saw the video of Zoe Stark and what happened, the first time I watched through it, I scrolled as quick as I could.
Yeah,
that was painful. Just watching that, and yeah, that looked bad.
And I saw a still shot of the leg, and it was bad. And so, guys, do you think this keeps her out of the Money in the Bank qualifier match, J-Bone?
Oh yeah, and it's sad because she's, from what they've said, she's had multiple leg issues. So this is just another horrible what do you call that? Roadblock, or however you want to say it, in her career.
Speed bump.
So a speed bump, yeah. Well, I mean, and so speed bump. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a roadblock, because I feel like she's got so much more to give. But man, some just get injury after injury after injury, and we've seen it in a few people over the last 5 to 10 years, and it's sad. It's sad. You want to root for them, but then they just never get back to that point.
Max,
hopefully she will.
Yeah, Max, it's a scary thing, but do you think that keeps her out of the Money in the Bank qualifier match?
Oh no, she's done. She's not going to be in the Money in the Bank. I see her being on the shelf. I don't know for how long, but she's not going to be in the Money in the Bank. You don't bow out, and that was the qualifier for her. And then you don't bow out in the middle of a qualifier, and then for injury purposes, and then be allowed in the match itself down the road.
They're going to make sure she's rehabbed properly. Yeah.
I just want to say though, this right here is why you don't skip leg day, everybody. All right, you need to go to leg day. And by the way, Zoe, if you watch this, I'm completely kidding. I am actually not suggesting you skipped leg day. It's a joke. Please don't beat me up, or please do. Either way,
Zoe could kick your ass, man.
When she gets better, she is going to drop kick you,
yes,
bro.
She is. Well, there's good news for WWE. The May 12th, 2025 edition of Raw experienced a bit of a slight dip in viewership, but still managed to hold strong on Netflix's global charts. According to official data from Netflix, the episode drew 2.7 million views worldwide, ranking number 8 globally among English language TV shows and landing in the top 10 in 5 countries. It represents a modest decrease from the May 5th episode, which pulled in 2.8 million views and ranked number 4 globally. But Despite the week-to-week decline, Raw continues to maintain a firm position as one of Netflix's most consistent weekly performers, especially within the sports entertainment category. But that's crazy to me, Max, and we've always talked about this, that Netflix can tell us how many viewers watched Raw both live and on replay, but yeah, we can't get an answer out of HBO Max on how many watched AEW live or on replay.
It's not HBO Max. It's Warner Brothers Discovery. It's the parent company. They don't want you to know how many are watching because it wouldn't look good on them. And now listen, I'm not trying to bash AEW. I'm really not. I'm being a realist here. My issue is with management. My issue is with the parent company. My issue is with the TV deal company that's streaming it and airing it and all that. My issue is not with the workers. I want them to succeed. Before anybody out there tries to twist my words, this is not what I'm saying. This company is mishandling things, and so is their company that has their streaming deal, Warner Brothers Discovery. They don't want us to know that the numbers are low. That's why they're not releasing them. And listen, Tony Khan can go out there and tell me there's great viewership all he wants, but until you convince Warner Brothers Discovery to release the numbers, I don't believe you. I'm sorry. If all the other streaming services can release numbers for their shows, why can't you? And we know you can because you released numbers for the NBA game or whatever it was here not too long ago. Oh, look how many people watched this. Okay, level with us. How many people are actually watching AEW on Max? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, that actually is interesting because I was like, because I like to look at it both ways. Like, yeah, why aren't they doing it? And then it's like, well, maybe they're just not releasing any numbers for anything. But like, and then you just said that they happen to release some numbers for some live, but you said basketball event. So yeah, it looks weird. It looks weird. You know, it's I don't know.
Well, here's another one. There's a TV show on Max starring Noah Wiley called The Pit. It averages 10 million global viewers as of April 11th. How do I know that this is averaging 10 million viewers globally when you don't tell me how many AEWs? I don't understand why you can tell me for one, but not for the other. And listen, Washable Marker, I support your opinion. I want you to enjoy what you want to watch. But my opinion, I disagree that All In is going to be better. I don't think it is, but I don't want to take away from you. If you think it'll be better, I support you on that.
Well, we got some more AEW news coming up later on in the program. It's kind of shocking, too, the news that we've got for you. But let's continue on with some WWE news. And the AAA WWE partnership, guys, just got a little bit more interesting. While Conan has already confirmed his place on the creative team for AAA under WWE's new ownership, a new name is being thrown into the mix behind the scenes, and that name is Jeremy Borash.
I know that name.
Yeah, on the Fightful Select Q&A, Sean Ross Sapp was asked whether WWE would be sending executives like Bruce Pritchard or Borash to oversee AAA's operations. Sapp replied, and I quote, "Jeremy Borash was supposed to be involved in some capacity. I'm working to find out on that, but he was supposed to be involved in some capacity," end quote. Now, Borash has been long considered a creative and production assistant within WWE, especially through his work with NXT on special projects. If he ends up involved in AAA's relaunch under WWE, it could mean some pretty big changes in how the product is presented, both visually and structurally. Now, meanwhile, Conan made his position very crystal clear during a recent episode of K100, saying, and I quote, "I'm going to be on the creative team," end quote. He flat out said that, confirming that he would continue to influence over the product. When asked if who would be he would be reporting to, he said, quote, "Probably Dorian Hunter or HBK," end quote. Conan also took time to address AAA's past struggles and how the WWE deal changes everything. He said, quote, "Our problem in AAA isn't our talent. It's not our booking. It's that we didn't have any money," end quote. He said that, pointing out the WWE's budget dwarfs anything that AAA has ever worked with. Now, with that news, we got to talk about Alberto Del Rio. And with WWE set to become involved with AAA, many fans have wondered what that means for Alberto El Patron. While WWE will still inherit existing AAA contracts as part of their takeover, it doesn't mean everyone currently on the AAA roster is welcome in WWE's future plans. According to Sean Ross Sapp, he addressed El Patron's standing with AAA and where WWE currently stands on bringing him into the fold. He says, and I quote, he is still in AAA as an influential member of that team. But when it comes to WWE, he says WWE in previous years has been very hesitant to work with him to the point where they have people in the company outright saying, no, we're not going to, end quote. Now, despite that, AAA just announced Alberto El Patron versus, and I hope I get this right, Hio del Vikingo. Is that right?
Oh
J-Bone?
yeah. I call him Vikingo just to keep
Vikingo.
it short and sweet. It's we know who that is. Yeah.
Yeah. So Vikingo versus Alberto El Patron is being booked for an upcoming event. Just a couple weeks before AAA Worlds Collide, making it clear that AAA is still pushing El Patron as a top name. However, that doesn't mean the WWE plans to feature him once they officially assume control. Initial reports from Super Luchas sparked speculation that WWE had already signed a group of AAA talent, including El Patron, but the narrative was quickly challenged by a Lucha blog who clarified, quote, WWE did not give Alberto a contract. AAA signed Alberto to a contract when they decided to build the promotion around him for the last year, and WWE will assume the contract when they take over the company. I don't think any decisions have been made past that, end quote. So it's going to be interesting how Alberto El Patron's future is going to be once the acquisition takes over completely and WWE completely steps in to control. I don't see him joining World Wrestling Entertainment as a wrestler, especially with the past that he's had. I just don't see that happening, and I think that they would be smart to stay away from him. I understand why AAA chose to sign Del Rio to a contract to help build that promotion, because Mexico wrestling is completely different from what we're used to here in America. But
Right.
um,
And I honestly think they look at him differently than we do.
yes, yeah, absolutely. I think there's just like you said, there's the eyes over there see him in a different way versus how we see him over here in the States and know what he did. So there's that. So I don't think we're going to be seeing Alberto Del Rio anytime soon in the WWE. But with that, we move on to some AEW news, and Tony Khan is talking up a storm regarding AEW streaming success in a big way, crediting the company's move to Max as a turning point in 2025, not you. In an interview with the Toronto Sun, Khan claimed the streaming deal has brought AEW a younger, fresher audience, also pinpointing to the cord cutters that no longer have cable to watch AEW. Khan also asserted that the traditional cable viewership for AEW has increased since the streaming rolled out, saying, and I quote, even though we started streaming, more people are watching on cable, which is the complete opposite of what every analyst would have expected, end quote. But here's the thing. Those claims don't exactly hold up, because according to Nielsen data and viewership, AEW Dynamite averaged around 816,000 viewers. That's a 0.26 rating in the key 18 to 49 demographic in Q1 of 2024. Now, fast forward to Q1 of 2025, the numbers dipped to 619,000 viewers, and that's a 0.17 rating. A 24.1% drop in total viewers, and a 34.6 drop in the key demographic that Khan claims is growing. Even weekly trends show the damage. And episodes like January 2025 that barely cracked 600,000 viewers, with some falling into the high 500,000s, an alarming decline from the 800K plus numbers seen the year prior. Still, Khan believes the HBO Max partnership has added value. He says, quote, the move into streaming has injected a lifeblood into AEW that has really been positive thing for the wrestlers, the staff, and the fans in 2025. But guys, this doesn't help. I don't know if you watched Collision over the past weekend on the 17th, but that broadcast was abruptly ended at around 9:30 p.m. Ironically enough, with The Rock's Black Adam movie suddenly taking over the airwaves of TNT. So TBS actually quickly addressed the situation since they're owned by the same company. They said, and I quote, due to technical difficulties, AEW Collision is not airing tonight. Please check allelitewrestling.com for wrestling updates. The unexpected switch occurred just before the ROH Tag Team Championship match featuring Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara versus The Crew, which was set to determine a title shot against the Hurt Syndicate at Double or Nothing. Now, there was some major confusion, but it seems now that HBO Max has the full episode of Beach Break available for you to stream. And that episode saw a slight increase in the numbers, drawing 398,000 viewers on TNT, up slightly from the 382,000 on May 8th. That's a steady 0.09 rating in the key 18 to 49 demo. But it's, I don't know where Tony Khan is seeing the viewership increase from the younger audience. I have no idea. But if you were going to try to watch Double or Nothing, this is not going to please you. And this is where we go from the desk of Max Mages, thanks to ringsidenews.com. And it's official, Max. Triller has now confirmed what Ringside News previously reported. AEW Double or Nothing 2025 will not be available to stream on their platform in the U.S., Canada, or Puerto Rico. In a blunt post on social media, Triller TV stated, quote, catching the biggest PPV of the season with AEW DON this Sunday on Triller TV, available worldwide, excluding USA, Canada, and Puerto Rico, end quote. Now, no further details were provided, but this confirmation follows days of confusions among fans, with the event notably missing from Triller's listing in key regions. Now, Dave Meltzer, if you believe Uncle Dave, addressed the issue on Wrestling Observer Radio, calling it, quote, another unanswered question, and adding, quote, I do know that it will not be available on Triller in the U.S., end quote. Triller has been a kind of a reliable streaming home for AEW across multiple countries since 2019.
Yeah.
Sudden removal from the U.S. availability kind of left fans scrambling for alternatives, even though there's Prime Video that they just signed that deal. There are other ways to order Double or Nothing. The lack of explanation, though, from Triller has not gone unnoticed. So, Max, should AEW be more direct about streaming options before a major show like this?
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%, because your diehard fans and even the more casual people are going to go looking for it and not know where to find it. Now, some people already know, hey, I should go check Prime. It's not on Triller. It'll probably be there. But not everybody is going to remember that. Mm-hmm. So you have to tell your fans, streaming this weekend on Prime. Every time WWE has a PLE come up, what do? Streaming this weekend on Peacock. They drill it home where it's going to be seen, where you can watch it. Now, I don't have the confirmation for sure that this is what happened. But Revolution in March was the first AEW pay-per-view to go through Amazon Prime. And by the way, in case you're wondering, it costs you a little extra. So even if you have Prime, you go on there, you go, oh, look, Double or Nothing, I'm going to have to pay extra for that, just so you know. Now, that was when their deal with Prime kicked off and the first pay-per-view started streaming. My guess, based on everything that I'm reading, my deductive reasoning, because I'm the detective here, tells me that what it was the deal with Triller had a little bit of overlap with the deal with Prime, but nobody re-signed a deal with Triller going forward. And that's why you're not going to see Double or Nothing on Triller, is because there's no deal in place for that. The contract has expired. I'm thinking the reason Triller didn't even announce that Double or Nothing wouldn't be on Triller until these last couple of days is because they were still trying to negotiate to get a deal in place for the fans that do enjoy watching it on Triller. That deal, I don't think is coming. I think Warner Brothers Discovery put the kibosh on it and said, no. AEW, you just signed that deal with Prime. You don't need to re-sign with these guys. You got the big guys now.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if Prime had something to do with that too, because Prime wants that money. If Triller's still a factor, Prime is going to be like, no, get rid of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think
Which is just it's smart business. Keep it to like your local cable pay-per-views and one streaming service, and keep it simple for them. So
yeah, I mean, you don't need all these options to watch a pay-per-view. You don't need to go to I understand going to ppv.com if you're out of the country or whatever the case may be, but you have Prime Video, you have traditional satellite, you have traditional cable.
I would like an alternate for watching SmackDown, because right now your choices are watch it live when it airs on USA or wait a month and watch it on Peacock. I would like a next day option, please.
That would be nice. I know. I don't know how you do it, honestly.
Didn't they used to have that on Hulu a few years ago?
They used to, but for some reason, I think that relationship ended or the contract ended or something like that. Contracts are sticky, man. They're sticky situations. But
damn it, Disney.
Unless you're Joe Hendry, and then you got the best contracts in the world.
Yeah, right.
You just show up on any show you want.
Anytime, anywhere.
If you want to watch Double or Nothing this Sunday on Triller TV or on pay-per-view, go to allelitewrestling.com and find out how you can watch it there. But good news is that AEW is always looking ahead when it comes to their pay-per-view events, and that's especially the case when it comes to All Out. And now the date and location for this year's All Out event has been revealed. The Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Canada, took to their official Facebook account and listed the AEW All Out pay-per-view, revealing that the event will be taking place on Saturday, September 20th this year. And it was further noted that pre-sale would begin May 20th at 10 a.m. with public sale beginning on June 2nd. Therefore, fans who really want to grab their tickets still have enough time to get ready. Last year's All Out pay-per-view was hailed as one of the best events in AEW's history, especially thanks to Swerve Strickland and Adam Page incredibly brutal steel cage match, among other things. So that is the good news for AEW. I'm still kind of worried about the whole Triller thing, but I think with Prime, they'll be okay as far as this next pay-per-view is coming up. But it's time we get into some TNA news and J-Bone's professional podcasting opinion. In this regards, Steve Maclin and his TNA International Championship reign, it's in serious jeopardy, J-Bone, after suffering multiple injuries during his brutal dog collar match against Eric Young on May 8th. During the May 15th episode on TNA Impact, a Bioflex TNA injury report video package confirmed that Maclin sustained a minor skull fracture, multiple lacerations, and extreme blood loss, leaving him medically unable to compete this week. Now, despite the severity of his injuries, Maclin is still scheduled to defend his TNA International Championship against Matt Cardona at Under Siege on the 23rd. But TNA has yet to confirm whether Maclin's condition could impact his ability to defend the title. But with Cardona earning the number one contender spot in a triple threat match against Ace Austin and Elijah, the pressure is kind of mounting for Maclin to be ready. So, J-Bone, do you think Maclin is going to be ready to take on Matt Cardona, or do you think it's going to open the door for a title change?
That's a tough one. It's a tough one. In situations like this, you can't just rub some dirt on it. You'll be fine. No, because then you gotta be careful with concussion protocol and everything else that goes along with head injuries. You can't rush stuff like that. You gotta. I mean, if he's if he's got a extra big soft spot on his head, you can't just all right, put a helmet on, you're good. No, man.
That's what we need to get J-Bone for Christmas.
Yes, I was just gonna say that.
A helmet? Oh, thanks. Yeah, like I don't lick enough windows around here. Thanks a lot. It's
the schnozberries do taste like schnozberries sometimes.
They do. I mean, what? No.
We're not even going to discuss what Roald Dahl considered schnozberries in a different book of his.
I don't get it. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, as much as I want to see him defend this title against Matt Cardona, I think it'd be a great match. Don't rush it, and TNA is been good about that. They typically are pretty good about injuries, especially in the Anthem era. They might have made some mistakes before. I don't think anybody's perfect when it comes to this stuff. It's you just got to make sure they got good doctors on hand and make sure they're following up on their getting physically okayed for it. So and by the way, there's a T-shirt that they put out that TNA put out when he was a bloody mess following that match with Eric Young. And there's no blood on the shirt, but it's in black and white except for the blue title, because there's a blue strap on the international title. Yeah, go check it out on the TNAshop.com. It's a great looking tee. You can tell there's blood on it, but it's all in black and white, so it's tastefully done. But man, Macklin's a mess in that picture.
Oh,
yeah. He is not afraid to get a little color.
I saw that. I saw what you posted in our Facebook chat. I saw that. My God, he's bloody.
Yeah.
So, and I want to address something Punk said real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that matters at this point. I don't know that it matters whether TNA is going to clear him or not, because he posted on Instagram and said, "Do you really think a minor skull fracture is going to stop me? Know what's waiting for you on the other side when you cross that line. Hashtag Macklin." And TNA Wrestling shared that post. I think that they have made it clear that he is going to be in this match. Is that a good idea? I don't know. Is it a real injury? Because if it is, no. If it's not a real injury, then it's fine. I wouldn't worry about it. But as of right now, TNA still has him listed as Matt Cardona's opponent, not Mid Cardona, Matt Cardona. When he was woo woo woo, you know it. Yes, he was a Mid Carter. Now he made a name for himself, and he is Matt Cardona.
Well, speaking of Matt Cardona and Under Siege, it's this Friday from the CA Center in Brampton, Ontario, Canada. Guys, I think it's time to do a little bit of predicting. And Max, I'm going to let you get ready while I plug this. If you are going to watch SummerSlam and you want to win some stuff from us, all you have to do is pick your best Rambler, whoever you'd like, and which would be me, by the way. We are going to predict SummerSlam nights 1 and 2, and whoever is closest wins. Now, you can pick which Rambler you want to side with. Is it me? Is it Max? Is it J-Bone? Is it the Baron? Who's it going to be that you get to choose? Now, here on the off chance that we get multiple people choosing one of us, we're going to create a wheel on the next episode of Ramblers Unleashed.
After
And we're
SummerSlam.
after SummerSlam is over, we're going to create a wheel, put those names on a wheel, and we're going to spin it. And whoever wins, or whatever name it lands on, you get some Ramblers Unleashed merchandise for predicting SummerSlam. It's going to be a big show, man. We're really excited for it. So get ready.
I
Get
wanna
your-
I wanna know who's actually gonna have the ability to make said wheel. I'm just curious.
I'll make the wheel.
Oh,
I'll
oh,
do
really?
I'll do it. I'll make the wheel. It's
You,
not that hard.
you got the engineering skills to
I can make it happen.
cut cut the cardboard or
I've got the construction paper. I've got the
I was gonna say
I've got
Glue
construction.
stick.
you know
He's
I've got
the glue
those
stick.
scissors that don't cut you, but to cut the paper, I've got a pair of those.
The round ones.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
also
those are my favorite because I've almost accidentally poked out my eyes thousands of times with those and never did. See,
I also have markers which I've hidden from J Bone so that he can't go around and sniff them. Because I mean they're not scented, but
that's why I switched to glue.
yeah, Elmer. I'm going to call you Elmer. Uh, so again,
I'm
Grandpa
hunting glue
Gorilla.
sticks.
get ready for SummerSlam nights 1 and 2. We're going to predict them in whatever you want, whoever Rambler you want to go with. You're going to get some free merch from us at Ramblers Unleashed. And click the links down below in the description of this video if you want to go get your merchandise. Look at that beautiful hat that Max has on. He's our Vanna White right now. And
Oh.
yeah, look.
Oh,
Look.
speaking of
Turn
merch,
that letter. Turn that letter.
speaking of merch, I do want to. My wife's trashed in the kitchen. No, I'm kidding. I do want to show this off. This in the other link besides the Ramblers, there is J Bones T Public,
Oh, yes, there is.
and I want to show off this. This is brand new. This is
Ooh.
Elijah inspired. This is a new one in there. So for t-shirts, cups, tapestries, um, mugs, stickers, whatever. There's a bunch of stuff. Don't think it's only, oh, you got to buy another t-shirt. No, man, you got options. So yeah, go check out that link in the description. This is the newest design in the shop.
We've got t-shirts, we've got hats, we've got hoodies for Ramblers Unleashed. So support your favorite Ramblers. And oh my God, Max, you look like Crocodile Dundee, man.
You
Is
want
this
to
the
be
hat you're looking for?
you want to be a cowboy, baby.
Hey, giddy up, dude.
Yippee-ki-yay, Max.
Motherfucker. All right.
So I actually taught our 2-year-old a new word today.
Let's go ahead and predict, man, because I'm ready. Max, are you ready to go?
I am.
All right, let's start with Jay Boner. And we'll kick it off with, because these aren't in any particular order. This is what I found on Wikipedia and how they have this
You starting out with Under Siege?
starting off with Under Siege, TNA
Okay.
Under Siege.
Gotcha. Because that's Fridays. Yeah.
And we're going to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I said, this isn't in any order. This is what I found on Wikipedia. So Joe Hendry and Elijah versus Trick Williams and Frankie Kazarian in a tag team match. J-Bone, who you got?
Well, it's gonna help set up stuff for the rest of the weekend because let's be fair. The stars of this weekend are gonna be Trick Williams and Joe Hendry.
Yes, they are.
They are going to be all over this weekend, with the exception of Saturday night's main event. But then, hey, if someone says his name, Trick Williams, Joe Hendry might show up. Sorry, Joe, I had to. We love you. So yeah, honestly, I'm gonna place a little doubt in the lap of Joe Hendry and Elijah, and I'm gonna pick Trick Williams and Frankie Kazarian because it's just gonna create some drama for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, I totally agree. Masha Slamovich and Victoria Crawford in a singles match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. J-Bone.
Oh, I gotta go with Masha Slamovich, but I do want to give an honorable mention to Victoria Crawford. She looks like she's in great shape. I can't wait to see what she does in the ring with Masha. It's great to have a veteran like that join the Knockouts. I think the only thing that people have been questioning is how long she's going to be sticking around. But hey, I think a lot of people were surprised just when she was sitting in the audience for the last pay-per-view. But and then she started getting involved. So yeah, we'll see what she does. But yeah, I'm sticking with Masha.
Okay. Eddie Edwards versus Cody Deaner in a singles match. Now, if Deaner wins, he gets a new TNA contract.
It's a tough one. I love Deaner, but I also have, I try to think realistically, like what else is there for Deaner to do? They could be just doing this for the sake of honoring him and setting up a big farewell for him. Or this could be a total jump start of a new chapter in his career, and he gets some backup, maybe turns heel. Who knows? I gotta go with it's kind of like rooting for Joe Hendry, but I'm gonna go with Deaner in this one.
Okay. Let's see. We move on to the Nemeth brothers, Nick and Ryan Nemeth, who are the champions, versus Matt Hardy and Leon Slater for the TNA World Tag Team Championships.
Oh, that's a tough one. As much as I love the team of Matt Hardy and Leon Slater, it's just not the same if Jeff ain't there. So I got to go with the Nemeth.
Okay. Let's see. Tessa Blanchard versus Ariana Grace in a singles match. J-Bone.
Tessa all day. And it's just to be fair because I have never seen Ariana Grace before, so I really have no idea what her in-ring skills are. So I got to go with what I know. And Tessa's one of the toughest, women in the world. So
yeah, absolutely. Mike Santana versus AJ Francis in a singles match. Who you got?
Santana Francis. I'm just looking at the whole page here. I think Santana's on a roll to get a title down the line at some point. So this is going to be a great opponent, though. AJ Francis has really been proving himself. But Santana's going to take this.
Yeah. Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance, the personal concierge versus Spitfire for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. Who do you got, man?
Oh, Ash and Heather, I think, are going to keep this one because I got a feeling they are going to reveal the newest member of their, we'll just say, entourage.
Ooh.
And it's Maggie Lee. And she just got a makeover, but they haven't revealed it yet. So I got a feeling we're going to see that. We're going to see it at Under Siege, and it's gonna throw things off for Spitfire. Okay. It's basically going to be 3-on-2 in a sense. So,
okay. Yeah. Well, now if he wrestles Steve Macklin versus Matt Cardona for the TNA International Championship.
If Macklin is cleared, he will absolutely destroy Cardona.
But what if he isn't cleared? What do you think is going to happen?
If he isn't cleared, I honestly think, depending on and that's just one of those things that we don't know yet, is really how severe it is, and if it is that severe, then they're gonna have to strip him. Honestly, I think that'd be the because if how do I say this? Those kind of head injuries, especially with going, down the road with concussions and everything, you cannot. I mean, you can guess, but you cannot put a timeline on the recovery of stuff like that. It's a day-to-day, week-by-week, month-by-month thing. I mean, look at what happened. I know this is a different company and a totally different story, but look at what happened to Adam Cole. he was the biggest mystery for almost 2 years or whatever it was. He was out indefinitely, and he finally was able to come back, but there was no time frame on that. So honestly, if it's that severe, if it's a BS thing, then it's BS. But I'm just saying, if it is legit and he is injured, um, I hope he just takes time, recovers. Unfortunately, take the title off of him, and they'll have to come up with a new opponent for Cardona, and then
Oh.
we'll get a new champ.
Who do you think that'll be, though?
That's a tough one.
Mhm.
Give me 2 seconds here and look at the roster page.
Which, while J-Bone is looking at the roster for TNA to figure that out, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. That tells YouTube that you like what we're doing here on Ramblers Unleashed, and that suggests our videos to more people. And would love to have more fellow wrestling fans join us each Tuesday nights when we get on here and ramble. J-Bone, you got a
Yeah, I'm gonna say either Mansoor or Ali. Those are my picks. I think that'd be really. I would love to see Mansoor versus Cardona. I think they have faced off before, but I don't know. It's like I don't know where, if and when it actually happened, but I might be thinking of something else from another company. But.
Okay. All right.
Actually, you know what? I just figured out what I was thinking of, because I know Cardona's done some, hardcore stuff in other companies. I was thinking of what the hell's that guy's name? Nick Gage. That's who I was thinking of. But
him.
So
yeah.
I don't think he's faced Mansoor. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'd love to see that.
Okay.
You keep saying Mansoor. Do you mean Mansoor, Mansoor, the guy that was in WWE for a while?
No, not Mansoor. No. Wrong company, wrong bitch.
No, I know it's the wrong company. But when you said that, I actually went to the TNA page. I'm not finding who you're talking about.
Old Mansoor. Mance Warner. They call him Old Mansoor.
Yeah.
Light beers and lariats. Knee pad up, knee pad down. Knee pad up, knee pad down. I don't know, whatever.
So that'll be interesting. Max.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go with you, Max. And we started off with Joe Hendry versus and Elijah versus Trick Williams and Frankie Kazarian tag team match. Max, who do you got?
I am going to make a pick, even though I don't think that either team is going to win, because of what's coming up for the very next day for two of the wrestlers in this match. I don't think this match is going to see an actual winner. I think it's either going to get double count out, double disqualification, something like that. However, because I walk with Elias and believe in Joe Hendry, I'm picking them to win.
Okay.
Elijah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I said, Elias.
Masha Slamovich and Victoria Crawford in a singles match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Who do you got, bud?
Listen, you can dress up Alicia Fox however you want, but that Masha, she's brutal. Masha's retaining that belt. She's winning this match.
Okay, right on. How about Eddie Edwards and Cody Deaner in a singles match? If Deaner wins, he gets a TNA contract, a brand new one.
I like the breakdown that Grandpa gave on this, but the thing is, I've done a lot of thinking, and I don't see them putting that stipulation on this match and then having Deaner lose. I know he picked Deaner in the end after his explanation, but while I like the explanation, I don't see the logic behind that for TNA, so I'm going with Deaner.
Okay. We move on to the Nemeth brothers, Nick and Ryan, versus Matt Hardy and Leon Slater for the TNA World Tag Team Championship.
We're going to go with Follow That and his unfunny brother.
What?
Okay. Let me break this down for you. You know that Dolph Ziggler, a.k.a. Nick Nemeth, does stand-up comedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his catchphrase for a while in WWE was follow that. So follow that, and his non-stand-up comedy brother or unfunny brother, Ryan. Sorry, Grandpa, you got to keep up once in a while.
Well, shit, he's got a 20-plus year career. I'm sorry, I forgot one gimmick over the course of 2 decades.
Tessa
Continue.
Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard versus Ariana Grace in a singles match. Max.
I think it's important to note that Tessa is going to have Robert Stone from NXT in her corner, and Ariana Grace is going to have her father in her corner.
Santino Marella.
That being said, I'm pretty sure
Ooh.
Tessa is going to destroy her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Mike Santana versus AJ Francis in a singles match. Who do you got, man?
Oh, for me, this is the toughest match on the card. Mostly because I think Top Dollar got a raw deal in the WWE. I think he could have done more, and they chose to part ways with him. So I think he's really got something special going on down in TNA. Mike Santana is pretty good in the ring as well. I mean, this could go either way. I'm going to go with Top Dollar on this.
Ooh,
Okay.
you're picking the big man. All right.
Let's see. Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance versus Spitfire for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships.
You know, I usually go with the brutal. Like I said, Masha is going to just destroy her opponent, and Tessa is going to kill Santino's daughter. But on this one, even though Spitfire's brutal, I think the Elegance team is pretty cunning, and I think that they've already figured out how to beat Spitfire, so I'm going with Elegance.
Okay, yeah. And if Steve Macklin wrestles, if he's cleared, Steve Macklin versus Matt Cardona for the TNA International Championship. If Macklin wrestles, who do you think is going to go? And if not, what do you think is going to happen?
I will cover that in 1 second.
Mhm.
Yes, I am Crazy Bell's boy, but that has nothing to do with why I picked the way I did. All right. So here's the thing. I think Steve Macklin is going to show up. I think he's going to go down to that ring, and I think he's going to get into this match. I think they're going to sell the head injury, whether it's real or not. And I think that Matt Cardona is going to take advantage of that. And I think Matt Cardona is going to win this match.
Ooh.
All right. Now, let me be clear about one thing. I have not watched TNA wrestling in a while. So my point of view is coming from my previous experiences with TNA wrestling. Okay.
And being on a podcast
with people who watch TNA wrestling religiously
and have professional podcasting opinions
and who have professional podcasting opinions and is older than dirt.
Yeah, so basically, for those of you that are keeping track in the comments, what he's saying is that he is probably going to pick his winners based on the same criteria that some women pick which football team they think is gonna win on a given Sunday, based on the uniforms.
Who's Taylor Swift's boyfriend again?
Not me.
Not me. I don't want her. So we go with Joe Hendry and Elijah versus Trick Williams and Frankie Kazarian tag team match. Honestly, I will say this, with the big match coming up between Joe Hendry and Trick Williams at NXT, which we are going to predict coming up. I'm going to say that Trick Williams and Frankie Kazarian upset Joe Hendry and Elijah, and they win, just to carry some heat over to the match on NXT. Masha Slamovich versus Victoria Crawford in a singles match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. I'm going to go with Masha Slamovich, man. I've seen her in the past. She's just fire whenever she's in the ring. I'm glad she's the champ. So I think she's going to carry on the belt.
Can I throw one little point
Sure.
of trivia your direction?
Mhm.
Just in case you are not familiar with who Victoria Crawford is, it's the former WWE's Alicia Fox.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe I said that or covered that when I said it doesn't matter how you dress Alicia Fox up. But thanks, Grandpa, for all that help.
It just shows how much I pay attention to you. It's
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Turn your hearing aids up.
Eddie Edwards, you need to. God, Eddie Edwards versus Cody Deaner in a singles match. If Deaner wins, he gets a new TNA contract. I'm going with Eddie Edwards on this one. The Nemeth Brothers versus Matt Hardy and Leon Slater for the TNA World Tag Championships. We're going with the Nemeth Brothers on this one. Tessa Blanchard with Robert Stone versus Ariana Grace with her daddy Santina Morella. Yeah, Tessa's going to absolutely kill her. Tessa's going to kill you.
I didn't even have to wait for you to say that. I was already typing for you.
Mike Santana versus AJ Francis. Man, I'm going to go with Mike Santana on this. I really like Mike Santana. So we're going with Mike Santana.
I may be old, but I don't own a Kango. Jiminy Christmas bells, boy.
You should get a Kango, dude. You'd rock one big time, man.
I used to. I used to have a leather one.
You need to get one and wear it on the show. Ash, but you had a leather Kango?
Yeah, man.
Pimpin'.
Don't ask me what happened to it.
Damn. Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance versus Spitfire for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. Ash and Heather, I think they're going to retain. Especially with the new addition they got that J-Bone was talking about. Yep, I think they'll retain. And now Steve Macklin versus Matt Cardona for the TNA International Championship. If he wrestles Macklin. If he's not cleared, I don't know who they'll pick, but I think they'll strip Macklin before the before the event even starts. I think they'll do it on the pre-show, and then they'll have to do something, right? They'll have to pit Matt Cardona up with someone, and I don't know how they'll do it, but something's going to happen, and maybe it could happen in the pre-show if there's a pre-show match. Could happen in the pre-show to kind of determine who's going to face Matt Cardona, and then at the end of the night, that's who will face Matt Cardona. I don't know. I don't know who that would be, but I think that's what's going to happen. If Steve Macklin is not cleared, they will put maybe like four people in the ring and say, you guys are fighting it out in a fatal 4-way. Yes, Max, I know that's a no DQ. They'll do a fatal 4-way, and that will determine who's going to go face Matt Cardona. Maybe. I don't know. But
it's an option.
It's an option. Absolutely. Let's move on to Saturday night's main event with something that I actually know. It comes from the Yingling Center, and it will be on NBC and Peacock on Saturday. And you know what? Let's go with you, Max, first. We pick Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the first match here, and it's a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Max, who do you got?
I think we all know my answer to this. Yeet.
Yelp. I believe that's true. How about CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker?
That's a toughie. I'm thinking Seth and Braun are taking this, though.
Yeah, okay. John Cena and R-Truth. And I don't think is it a title match?
No.
It is.
What?
It
is?
Not according to Wikipedia.
I didn't think so.
You go by Wikipedia? What's wrong with you? Hang on a second.
Well, listen, I'm not saying it's not gonna be a title match.
5-year-olds can edit Wikipedia. Hang on a second.
Wow.
Everything is sourced down at the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
By 5-year-olds, yeah. Um, just hang on.
And while J-Bone is looking that up, Max, who do you got? Who do you think?
I
If it's for the title,
well, if it's for the title, Cena's going to win. But that's beside the point because my answer to the question is, Truth is going to get beat down by his childhood hero, whether the title's on the line or not.
Okay. And finally, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match.
This is my smoke break match, just in case anybody's wondering.
Really?
Oh,
Wow. Serious.
But I blame the WWE for that. And I love WWE. I love the direction Triple H is taking everything in. But I feel like we've now overdone the Priest McIntyre story. This all started last year at WrestleMania, and it's still going. I'm over it. I want to see Drew move on to a new opponent. I want Priest to go fight with somebody else. Sorry, that's my opinion. I'm going to go Priest, though. And yes, Bell's boy, I know I'm crazy.
J-Bone, out if the title's on the line or no?
It looks like it. I assumed it was. So my apologies. I thought both titles. That's why I said at the top of the show, I was like two titles are on the line. So I assumed this one and Jey Uso's title was on the line, but apparently this isn't.
But I thought, well, hold on. I thought that Logan Paul went out and cut a promo that said the title is his on Saturday.
Yes, Jey Uso and Logan Paul is for the title.
It is. It's
Cena
for the.
and
It's
R-Truth is not.
Got it. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so J-Bone, now that is all cleared up, let's move on to you and your predictions. Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship belt.
Logan Paul. I love Jey Uso, but I got a feeling there is way too much focus on Logan Paul that they're not. I mean, you got Seth talking to Logan, you got Gunther talking to Logan. You might as well have Shane McMahon come back and talk to Logan Paul. Something's going on. And I think they're going to pull the trigger. I mean, that's me. That's me. You can disagree with me, and that's fine. So, it's, of course he's going to because he just thinks I haven't taken my meds today, which I have, by the way. I'm back on my meds, so we're good. What? Oh, never mind. Okay. So, yeah.
Well, with that being said, CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker in a tag team match.
I got to go with Sami Zayn and Punk. Punk needs a win. Hell, he didn't even win at Mania. He just got,
Okay.
He got disgraced by Paul Heyman.
Okay.
Poor bastard.
John Cena versus R-Truth in just a singles match.
I agree, Oreo. I think Cena's going to win, unfortunately.
Cena, okay.
But I'll tell you what, this is going to be really interesting because, I mean, how many times we've seen R-Truth in a comical match situation, and now all of a sudden you're facing one of the biggest heels in the company in a legit match. So this is going to be entertaining either way, no matter how this ends up.
Surprise us. I mean, shit, it could really surprise us.
We could see little Jimmy for the first time, and he could just F up the whole match. We don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match. Who do you got?
Oh, I got McIntyre.
Okay.
Wait. If you pay attention, I mean, really pay attention to what McIntyre's been spitting lately, he's not far off from the truth. Some people, some heels like to exaggerate this, that, and the other thing, and it throws it over the top, and it's like, well, how could you say that? You're wrong. You're a heel, blah, 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 blah. No, listen to what he's saying. He ain't far off. All the way dating back to his feud with Punk. He's going to destroy Damian Priest. And then, yes, I think this will end the feud. It needs to end. But I will say this: I have absolutely loved this feud.
Go for it. Really questioning all prediction, dude.
Bell's boy does not agree with me, and that's a fine. That's a fine. You don't have to agree with the grandpa.
By the way, I do want to say Maxwell's Silver Hammer. That is one of my theme songs.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love Maxwell. So for my predictions, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship, dude, all day. Yeet.
Yeet.
Yeet. CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Honestly, I'm thinking Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker with a screw job by Heyman. Really think so. John Cena versus R-Truth in a singles match, no title. Cena, because he's strong, but it could surprise us. I'm kind of, I don't know, man.
He's strong and pretty.
Okay.
How do you know he's pretty? You can't see him.
Yeah, you can't see him.
I've seen his face in the clouds. Shut up.
We've seen R-Truth upset people in the past. I just don't know about this one, man. Cena's strong, but then again, it's not for the title. You know what, Max? I'm going to change my prediction. First time ever. I believe it's the first time ever I've done this on the show. But damn it, I'm going with R-Truth on this one. I'm going to go with
He believes in Ron killings.
Yes. And Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match. I'm going Damian Priest. All day. Now.
All day.
Every day.
That match is not going to last all day. I hate to tell you this.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, I hope not. Because we still got to get to Battleground, NXT Battleground, Sunday from the Yingling Center in Tampa, Florida. And they got to clear all that crap out. So, J-Bone, let's start it with you, sir. And the first match is at least on my list here. Obafemi versus Miles Bourne, singles match for the NXT. Max.
So I don't know which one of you was watching Wikipedia, but you dropped the ball. Give me just a second, and I will screenshot this and send it over to you.
Oh, boy.
And I will be updating my list as we get this going.
Oh, God. Here we go. I don't know.
Listen, it's not bad. It's just Sol Ruka and Hank and Tank are now on the card.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what? Oh, it probably got updated from tonight's episode of NXT.
Yes, but since I was busy typing the lists up, one of you was supposed to be keeping an eye on Wikipedia to see if there was matches that are on NXT.
Sol Ruka and Kalani Jordan, and then Hank and Tank versus the Culling. So we'll add that to my list here. And now there are 6 matches for Battleground. And we will still start it with J-Bone.
Okay.
And we will go with Obafemi versus Miles Bourne for an NXT championship. By the way, Max, thank you for letting us know.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna go with Miles Bourne. I'm gonna go with the total underdog of this.
Okay. For the NXT championship?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Well, and the reason why is because this is a time of change in NXT. You're going to see certain individuals over the course of the next, and it's already happening. You know, you're seeing people like Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez just signed with Raw, so that's one call up. Julia just got signed to SmackDown, and so we're gonna start seeing individuals like, say, possibly Trick Williams, possibly Obafemi, and possibly others go from NXT to the main roster. So this is part of that. That's why I'm picking Miles Bourne, because I think Obafemi is going to the main roster soon. I could be wrong, but whatever.
Okay. Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordan Grace in a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship.
And this is in the same topic. You know, Stephanie's been on Well, it's either Raw or SmackDown. I forget which one. I'm pretty sure it's
Raw.
Raw. Thank you. Even though I fall asleep during Raw 90% of the time lately, and that's not because it's boring. It's just because
Because he's tired after yelling at the clouds.
That's right. That's
Yes,
right.
yeah.
So yeah, thank you. That really cleared that up.
I'm here to help.
Pretty honest if you want to really think about it. But yeah, we're going with Jordan Grace on this one. I think this is another transition that's going to happen in NXT.
Joe Hendry.
Stephanie's going to the main roster, and Jordan's going to just rock that women's NXT division.
Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
And I'm going to piss off a lot of people. But
Okay.
I'm not the only one that thinks this. If you watch the guys from What Culture on the morning when they talk about stuff like this, and I even shared it on Twitter, so go to my Twitter and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
He's about to disappoint me, isn't he, Dizzy?
I'm going with Trick. I hope. Okay, let me say this.
Does not believe.
I hope. No, I do believe. I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's going to be Trick. Okay.
I don't know if you believe, man. I don't know. Tony D'Angelo versus Channing Stacks Lorenzo.
Let me tell you something about Stacks. This is the one that I'm probably the least familiar with, but I know that Stacks was part of the D'Angelo
family,
yeah, and he turned on him recently, and he's branching off, so it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be another sign that maybe Tony's going off to the main roster, and so I'm actually going to go with Stacks here. Stacks is going to beat him, and he's going to become like the new boss, mob boss of NXT.
Okay. Sol Ruca versus Kalani Jordan for the NXT Women's North American Championship.
Oh, Sol Ruca all day. She has been killing it. She's one of my favorite ladies to watch on NXT. Her finisher, it's like nothing I've ever seen before, and I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. It's a work of art. It truly is.
Hey, and finally, we got Hank and Tank versus Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs versus the Culling.
Which is Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and Sean Spears with Izzy Dame at ringside.
Izzy Dame is, and I mean this in the most like non, like chauvinistic way, but man, Izzy is a huge bitch. She really is. It's like standing next to like Jordan Grace. It's like, it's like a 2-foot difference. All love. I'm gonna go with Hank and Tank and Josh.
Okay. Max, we move on to you, sir. And the first match that I have for you is Obafemi versus Miles Bourne for the NXT Championship.
Listen, Disney's got a really good theory going on over there, but he's wrong. Oba's going to win and retain.
Okay, well then. Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordan Grace. The singles match for the NXT Women's Championship.
All right. Hold on 1 second. And actually, I think Oba's going to drop the belt soon, but not this weekend. Just let me make that clear, because I think that he is going to get drafted in the draft, but I think they're going to have him drop the belt at the next PLE or whatever it is. That whether it be a Raw thing or an NXT thing. So I just want to make that clear. He's going up, but he's not dropping this weekend.
Okay. All right.
And I got Stephanie Vaquer over Jordan Grace. Same reason. She is going to get drafted to either Raw or SmackDown, but she retains this weekend and drops later.
Okay. Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams for the TNA World Championship.
Unlike some people,
I know your answer.
I will not abandon Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry, And as somebody pointed out in the chat a little bit ago, Trick's Mello's bitch anyway. So Joe Hendry for the win.
I am not abandoning. You guys are like blowing this way out of proportion.
Oh, kind of like when we blew all the Culvers way out of proportion. Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of like when you said I was like, I lost a dollar bet to Jesus.
No, that one's actually true.
Oh, okay.
Tony D'Angelo versus Channing Stacks Lorenzo, Max.
I actually see Channing winning this.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sol Ruka versus Kalani Jordan for the NXT Women's North American Championship.
Is there any doubt who I'm picking here? I'm picking the Soul Snatcher herself.
Kind of what I figured. And Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs versus the Cullings. That's Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and Sean Spears with Izzy Dame at ringside.
I cannot believe that I am going against Hank and Tank on this, but I think the Culling is going to win this match.
Okay. Yeah. You're going to hate me too, J-Bone, because
I'm not going to hate you. I'm not going to hate you.
Oh, you will. Just admit it. Just admit it. You'll hate me.
Nope.
Obafemi versus Miles Bourne for the NXT Championship. I'm picking Obafemi because if you saw something really interesting tonight, and if you've been watching Legends and Future Greats, you'll know who Jasper Troy is. And Jasper Troy absolutely clobbered Obafemi tonight after Miles Bourne left the ring, and that's fucking cool. I love that. So I'm going with Obafemi because I see Jasper Troy and Obafemi going head to head at some point. I don't know if they'll drop the title to Jasper this early in his career. I doubt it, but I think we're going to get an Oba versus Jasper Troy match. That would be freaking cool.
There's not going to be a title involved.
Shut up.
Continue. I'm just messing with you.
And honestly, that could be true. Honestly, and Jasper Troy, I would not be surprised if Miles Bourne wins, and I'm totally wrong. If Miles Bourne wins this weekend on Sunday, and Jasper Troy knows that Obafemi's going to the main roster, and he just kind of sets dominance because I love Jasper Troy. If you haven't watched LFG, watch it, please. Stephanie Vicaire versus Jordan Grace for the NXT Women's Championship. Dude, I'm going with Jordan Grace on this one. But Stephanie's on her way to the main roster. She's got to drop the title. I'm going with Jordan Grace. Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams for the TNA World Championship. And if you think that I don't believe in Joe Hendry, you are dumber than I fucking thought you were. Because I'm going with Joe
Grandpa
freaking Hendry. Because I believe in Joe Hendry. Tony D'Angelo versus Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Dude, I'm going with Stacks on this one. It's a good story. I love this story. I love mafia stuff, which this whole thing that they've got going on is just so cool. I love it. So I'm going with Stacks on this one. Sol Ruka versus Kalani Jordan for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Yeah, Sol Ruka. She's coming in to steal some souls. And finally, Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs versus the Culling. Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and Sean Spears with Izzy Dame at ringside. Yeah, I'm going with the Culling on this one. I like Hank and Tank, but I've got to give it to the Culling on that one. So that is it. We have so much fucking wrestling to watch. Are we going to watch it all? Damn right we are.
No, we're not. I'm going to tell you why. There's actually 4 events this weekend, and I already know I'm watching NXT Battleground over the other one.
Well, that's true. Ooh. Oh, God, I forgot. Fuck, I forgot AEW.
There is a reason that I didn't screenshot that and send it to you, because I know Tony Khan has like 40 matches on the card, and we weren't staying here long enough to pick 40 freaking matches, all right?
Well, we're already an hour and a half in. I don't think we need to pick. This is the first show where we're not going to predict AEW. I just want you to know that. and how significant that is.
I have absolutely no doubt they're going to have a good show. They got Anarchy in the Arena, that's going to put butts in seats. I know a lot of people like that one. It's basically what War Games, except it's like all over the place, So,
But hold on, if they're going, if NXT or if AEW is going up against NXT on Sunday, come on, you know who's going to absolutely kill them, right?
MLW.
Wow. So far, there's only 6 matches on the card.
For Double or Nothing?
Yeah.
Well, shit, should we?
2 of them are finals matches for the Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournament. One's male, one's female. The tag team titles are on the line, the Women's World Championship, and then there's a tag team match and a stretcher match.
Fuck. Should we go ahead and do some predictions for that?
No, I still have to take my bath. Let's get out of here.
Don't forget the toaster.
Oh, wow.
I like soggy, soapy bread. I told you that.
With that being said, I will, after NXT, I will definitely be watching AEW. Just to keep up with it. But that is the show for this week, and happy Memorial Day weekend to you and to yours, and hopefully you have a good 3-day weekend. If you are enjoying a 3-day weekend, there's going to be a lot of wrestling to watch over this next few days. So enjoy it, and if you haven't yet, go follow Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's. That is the Baron. He's going through some difficult times, and he could definitely use your thoughts, your positive prayers, and positive messages. So Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's. Please go follow him, send him your love, and hopefully we'll have him back on the show very, very soon. In the meantime, though, Max, how can they follow you, sir, on socials?
You can find my wrestling account at Max Magus. You can find my other podcast at Our Shots Podcast. You can listen to that podcast at any place where you listen to your podcasts, or go to random-shots.net. And for all complaints, please send them to @deactivated styles.
Any grammatical errors, anything that Max said that was absolutely wrong, if he breathed wrong, just send it to Deactivated Styles. J-Bone, how can they follow you?
You can follow me over on that other little podcast called Total Nonstop Impact, where we do all things TNA on Thursday. And I'm reading the chat. I love you guys. And you can follow me on the old Twitter box at Jaybone5150. That's JAYBONE 5150.
Bell's boy, don't be giving J-Bone's secrets out, man. Damn. You can follow the show on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it at the Ramblers Pod right there. You can also find us on Facebook at Ramblers Unleashed. And please hit the subscribe button if you have not yet. If you're checking this out on a replay, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you know whenever we go live. We will you'll know when we're doing another show, and hit the like buttons for all that, man. So it shows us some love and tells YouTube that you're digging what we're doing over here. And again, follow Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's and send him some love. He needs it. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up, man. Enjoy wrestling. Holy crap. We've got 3 days of wrestling, and it's going to be a lot, but enjoy it. Whatever promotion you watch, enjoy wrestling. Love it for what it is. It's an absolute art, and it's a passion of ours. That's why we get on here every Tuesday and talk it with you. In the meantime, happy Memorial Day weekend, and until next Tuesday, we'll see ya. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.
Okay, old man, you can go take your sponge bath now.
Yay, we're